All right. Thank you so much for joining us again in our class for tonight. It is such a wonderful evening. Once again, you're welcome. This is Agape Media, and our classes continues. Uh, the other previous class, we were talking about making beats. So I made this simple one for you. So let's take a short break as we listen to this simple one and we enjoy. It is a nice one. Enjoy. Yeah, I guess you can feel how it is. It's really good, right? Yeah, so that's how nice you can be when it comes to LMMS. You know, I told you at the beginning that it's really basic. MSS, LMMS, it's really basic, but you can make such a great hit. You can listen to mine, the one I did actually in a few minutes. I was able to do that, so you can also do something like that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us go back to our beat stroke bass line. So this is the beat or bass line that I'm using in that song that you've heard. Let me play for you the beat and based on how it sounds. This is it. Alright, sorry, that's the loop, the drum loops, but let's go back to the bass line. Yeah, this is it. As you can see, I'm using a tempo of 82 beats per minute, but just try to listen to it carefully. Yeah, you realize that there are very many instruments, the percussions, they're quite much, but they're the ones that are contributing to having such a great tune. So you can have as many as possible, but try not to use too many of them. So without wasting time, let me go ahead and open a new project because the other one is already written. Let's assume this is our new project. There's something little I wanted us to learn today. Let us go back to the beat or bass line. Okay. We're just going to go ahead and do the things that we did the other time. We're going to look for some instruments. I'm going to get some drums. Okay. So I'm going to try that kicker. Okay, so let me set actually let's use the same tempo that we used last time. That was 98 for dancehall, and let us go ahead and tick or set or click or select these steps. You can listen to it. Yeah, that is our bass kick, how it is. So we are just going to go ahead and oh, now this one sounds better. So let me deselect this one. Remember, when you see a red symbol on my mouse, I'm left clicking, then blue is right clicking. So please don't I'm not going to explain that I'm left clicking or right clicking. Just notice that, take note of that. So this is it. Now you realize that I also have this one up, the kick 01. Let me play them together. Now you realize it's too strong, it can even kill your ears. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave all of them to be there, but I will reduce the volume of one. As you can see here, this is VOL, volume, PAN, pan. To pan is to send volume or to send that instrument on one side of the speaker. For example, if you're using headphones, you have two ears, of course. So if you pan it to the right, you will hear more of it from your right ear. If you pan it to the left, you'll hear more of it in your left ear. So let me go ahead and just decrease the volume of the first one, the first kick. You can see, let me play. So I think that is fair now. Let me a little more. Now to make it more interesting, let me pan it to one side of the ear. Let me try panning that side. So you realize that it's not balanced. One side of the ear is having a lot of bass, but let me tell you, as a good producer, you need to make sure you don't pan basses. You don't pan it, you keep it at the center so that you can listen to it from both sides of the ear. If someone is playing, let me say, out there using big public address system, still those tops, they are arranged right and left, so the left one will always play when it's panned to left, but if it's centered, it will all play equally. So that is about panning and volume. I've introduced you to that. Now, as we can see, we have these dashes here, the green and gray one. Now the green one, it is for muting the track. For example, if we realize we don't want this kick 01 to play, we just mute it, we click the green one, you can see it goes gray, means it's not selected. So even if we play, it is only kick hard 01 which is playing, the other one is not playing. But what if we have a number of instruments here? Let's say these are our instrument 3, and we want to play only one of the 3. You go ahead and click the second as dash here. For example, if I click this, it becomes red. Red means it is the only one which will play. The rest will not play. Even if you had 20 instruments, it will be the only one that will play. So anyway, I believe you have understood that. So let us go ahead and create some. Okay, I'm going to have that. I want to create some beats for myself, and we use it for learning today. Okay. So let me try this. Okay, you can follow the patterns. We already talked about this in our last video, so please, you can just follow, go back in a video before this one here and try it out. So okay, let me do this. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you realize I already have a very simple beat here. It's really so basic and very simple. Now, what I wanted us to go and learn today, we're going back to the song editor. That was the first window that we introduced, but we didn't discuss it. So now you have made some beats from the beat or baseline editor. Let us close it. When we come back to the song editor, remember we said even if we close all these windows, you can always bring them back. The first one here, we said it's the song editor. The second one is the beat or baseline. The third one is the piano roll, like that. So we can always close or open them. It will not delete your project. So now, as you can see up here, it's reading untitled project. We have not yet saved our project. We shall learn how to save. Now, when we come back to the song editor, we realize that everything that we have been doing, it has not showed here. It is not appearing here, but relax, don't worry. Let's when we come back to the beat stroke baseline editor, we realize that here it's reading beat stroke baseline 0. It is marked number 0. So when we open here the song editor, here it is written beat stroke baseline 0. So if we want to activate it or we want to select it, we click this first one. Now, unlike the beat stroke baseline, the other one is just a pattern. The beat or baseline is a pattern, but this one is now the old song. This is where we make the song from. We edit the song. That's why it's called the song editor. So if you click on the first square or the first column here, it means there that the instruments which are under the pattern which you have arranged in beat or baseline will play. For example, let's click that one. So once it reaches the end of it, it will also go silent because you have not clicked. So if you want this to last for 15 seconds, you can see this up here, it's marked 1, 15, 19, like this is the seconds. So we can also tick like that, so it will play up to that point. Now remember, when you're in beat stroke baseline, if you select a beat, for example this one, if you don't want it, you click it again. You left click to select, you left click to deselect. But when you're on the song editor, you left click to select it. If you don't want it, if you left click again, it will not do anything. If you right click, it will give you options and you choose delete into bracket middle mouse button. If you have a mouse with the 3 buttons, you would use the middle one. But now, assuming I don't want this one, I right click, then I click delete. It will go away like that. Okay, like that. But if I want, I just left click and it comes. So let me just select it for how many seconds? 19 seconds. So now that is actually what happens in the song editor. We use the song editor to make the songs or bring the songs together. Now we realize that we cannot have the beat constant from the beginning up to the end, the same, nothing being added onto it. No, it becomes so boring. So what we do, we can create a loop. Now a loop or a beat, or what we call a beat loop, is that beat that you put in the middle to link between one part of the beat to another. For example, if you have the chorus, you can have one beat for the chorus and another one for the what, for the verse. But to link the two, you can put the loop. You know, people who play instruments, they understand what I'm talking about. You know, those kind of things like you know, those things you add something to give, you know, to make it a little bit more interactive, and you're changing from one beat to another. So what we do here, let us add another beat or bass line. Now it introduces me to the options or the icons which we have up here. The first one here is the play. To play a song, you can either click on this or click on your keyboard, the space button. The second one is stop the song. The third one is add a beat stroke bass line. If you want to add another bass line or another channel, you can call it channel, you can call it track. If you want to add it here, you can click here. It has the small plus here. It will add a beat or bass line. You understand? We can add very many tracks, but if you want to specifically add a track which is a beat or a bass line, you add it. Because we already have beat or bass line 0 here, we can add the second one, and we can rename it. Let's rename it and call it beat loop 1. So that's loop 1. Okay, now in beat loop 1 we don't have anything. Even if we select and let's say we mute the rest, and it is the only one that plays. Remember, we said if you click the second dash, it will mute the rest, and we play it, you realize nothing is playing because we have not written anything in the beat or bass line. So what we do, like, we come to it and we double click it, then it will open you beat or bass line. You realize when you open the beat or bass line, the other instruments you had imported, all of them are still there, but there is no any pattern selected. So now what we do, we can choose how our loop will be, and we let's say our beat loop 1 is the beginning of the first beat. So let's think about it. As a producer, what would you choose? So would you choose some drum? If you were playing a jazz drum, would you play something like ding 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 ding? Then you start playing your what? Or you would play something like ding 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 ding. You know, like you think about it, how you would play it if you were playing physically. Now that is how you write it. So to me, let's just choose something simple like ding ding ding. Okay, just simple. So I'm going to look for, okay, I think that one would work. Try those snares. I'll choose that. So let me try. Okay, let me choose another snare. Okay, that also. So let me try that. Okay, that's not good. So let me try something like this. So now that's a very simple loop, very simple. Actually, it's ugly, but you can do yours, you can make it nice, and so on and so forth. I want to just use very little time in training, so I'm taking that for now. So that one is my beat loop 1. So this is what we have. So you realize now, if I mute the rest and let it be the only one playing, this is what I would have in the song editor. Okay, so what we do, let us unmute and we play it together with the first one. But what we do, we delete beat or bass line step 1, so that we have step 1. Step 1, it will be the beat loop 1 playing, then it will pick from there. So this is what we have. Now you understand what I've been meaning by a loop. So without wasting time, let's listen. you realize this loop is very simple. Now, without wasting time, let me show you how to save, because we're going to look at a more advanced one. So after assuming you've made this loop, we are not yet going to touch the piano roll now today. No, let's just stick on the beats. So assuming you've made your beats and it's really looking good like the way maybe you want, then you can now go ahead and save your beats only. But even if you had already put the piano roll, the other instruments, you would still save. So when you want to save, you come to File and you click File and you click on Save As. It will open this window, as you can see, and now you can choose where you want your project to be saved. Let me save mine on the desktop because maybe that's what I want. I can put it on the desktop, then I can rename it. Let me give it a name like Agape or Agape 1. Yeah, that's what I have. Then now when it comes to files of type, in other words, the type of the files, now LMMS, there it recognizes its own special format. Now when you save it in this special format or default format, you can still edit it another time using LMMS. So let us go ahead and click save. So meaning, even if we close this, okay, next time I can just come and look for it. Where did I save it? It was on the desktop here, Agape 1. If you click on Agape 1, it will directly open and you will be redirected to LMMS. You cannot play this using your phone. Now, assuming you want to play with your phone, you will need to export instead of save as. So you come to File, then you come to Export. Now, when you're exporting as a producer, the default file format for exporting, the one which does not lose the quality, it's what we call the WAV format, WAV. It does not lose you don't lose the quality, but it is too heavy to share with media outlets, post on internet or what. So if you're going to save it, maybe you're going to export it to another software, for example Audition, to edit it from Adobe Audition, you need to save it as a WAV format. But if you're exporting it now to play on your phone or on your PC or what, I would advise that you change from the WAV format from this drop down and you play or you save it using, or else what, MP3. Now you realize MP3, of course it loses some quality, but it's still good. It's still good. Don't forget to choose the file location. So let me still put it on the desktop and you just click on save. After that, it will give you these options: compressed file format. So you realize it is compressing. Whenever you're compressing, you lose quality a little bit, but don't mind. We shall talk about it later on, about bitrate and what we shall talk about all these ones, all this theory in audio editing. We shall be using Adobe Audition, so we shall talk about this at the end of our class or of this program. So let us just go ahead and click start so that it can start exporting. You can see it has saved already. We can go ahead and close and we look for it at the desktop here. You realize it is here saved as Agape 1. We can play it. So ladies and gentlemen, you can see that is a very simple beat that I have made. So we are going to get back after this short break. In our next video, we shall look at how we can now make a real, like a professional beat. What I just showed you, it was so basic. I wanted you to understand the basics only. But in the next video, we're going to learn how to make a professional beat. Actually, I was hoping that I would get a song, then I will try to recreate it. But let's see what happens in the next video. Thank you so much for following Agape Media. Thank you so much for being part of this training, for being part of this program. See you in the next video. God bless you and have a good day. Thank you.